Thank you for coming out to our first of 4 information sessions for people affected with the terrible flooding we've been experiencing for the last little while. My thanks to Steve Seller from the Ministry of Municipal Affairs, who is going to do a presentation right after I've spoken on the programs available from the ministry to assist. I'll also point out officials from the city who are here, and they will be available for questions at the booths around the table after the presentation. I want to start with a little bit of good news. The weather forecast, and we've been tracking this through Environment Canada and the Ottawa River Committee, shows that water levels have reached their peak, and we're now expecting declines in water levels. We're still continuing our efforts to stabilize and respond. We're preparing the transition to the recovery phase, and I've been meeting with senior staff and councillors for the last 48 hours on the recovery aspect. And we want residents to know that we're committed to responding to residents' needs. Supporting our residents obviously is the priority of the city at this stage. That's why tomorrow I'll be proposing to City Council that residents affected by the displaced or displaced by the flood will have their final property tax due dates deferred to December 7th, 2017. And this will provide some temporary relief for residents most affected by the flood during this time of need, so they can focus on rebuilding their lives and their properties. It's estimated it will take up to 4 weeks to recover from this event. One of our pressing issues right now is debris management, washing ashore onto your property, road allowances and ditches. And as you know, as you work to assess the damage in your home, we know that there will be a significant amount of debris that has come off the river from other properties onto your property. You'll hear later today about the need to photograph and document damage before disposing of debris from your home. And of course, there's also the question of what to do with more than 240,000 sandbags out there in the city, filled almost entirely by our great volunteers. We'll be setting up a process to recover and dispose of the sandbags in the coming days, once obviously the water has subsided. Ottawa Public Health is being engaged regarding the safe handling of waste and on how to mitigate and protect your families from any possible contamination. There are 4 main kinds of debris which must be dealt with in different ways, and we'll be asking residents to be mindful of these 4 waste streams through the cleanup efforts. Dumpsters for debris will soon be arriving in the affected areas. In fact, I think I've seen dumpsters in about 5 of the different communities already. These will be marked by signage to guide residents through the cleanup. If you have questions about the safety of re-entering your home, Building Code Services is prioritizing support to flood-affected residents. I'd encourage you to call 311 if you have questions regarding the next steps to reoccupy your home. For example, regaining access to electricity, water, and sewage if you're on the city services, and obviously the impact it has on septic systems and well water. In addition, Ottawa Fire Services is doing wellness checks at all of the affected residences and have been keeping an inventory of who's remaining in their home if they have any medical conditions. And I know they're also gathering information about pets and public health issues to support residents through the re-entry phase of the cleanup. In this very difficult situation, homes and residents aren't the only things that have been affected. Obviously, the city's infrastructure services is mapping out infrastructure, including roadways. As you may have heard, there's been some erosion and degradation of Highway 174. The mapping will enable the city to respond quickly once the water levels go down. In addition, the city is in the process of setting up a service that residents can contact should they need assistance during the recovery process. More information about this service will be available in the coming days on ottawa.ca. As Councillor Taylor mentioned, I want to remind everyone that monetary donations should be made to the Canadian Red Cross, and in-kind donations should be given to the Salvation Army. And I want to echo Councillor Taylor in thanking everyone in our community who has stepped up and volunteered in so many remarkable ways, whether it's providing coffee and muffins and pizza and hot meals, as they have in a number of the community centres, to helping out a fellow neighbour. Our community's response is to be applauded, and I think your actions are a wonderful example of what makes this city such a special place to live in.